Are you ready to take your ministry? Explore new innovative ways to carry the gospel of Jesus Christ to the world. Have you ever thought about having a television ministry? Were you reluctant because of pricing? Did it seem too costly for your ministry? Television is affordable, and that there is a solution within your budget. Would you be interested? There is an affordable solution for your ministry. It's Clarity IBN. Clarity is an affordable option for you to be on television. You can reach the world for Jesus without breaking your budget. Go now. Go to clarityibn.org. Fill out the contact form, and a representative from Clarity IBN will email you on how you can be on television affordably. Don't wait, don't procrastinate. Do it now. Go to clarityibn.org and get started.
A moment of truth opened up my eyes. A moment of truth. A moment of truth, like the sunrise. A moment of truth. It's a new day. The world has made me new. My life is better. I finally found my way. A moment of truth made me realize. A moment of truth.
Well, good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to the Moment of Truth. This is live at 5 with your host, Dr. Harold G. Dakis Jr. All right, I'm trying to find a way to send this link to someone by phone. I don't know if it's going to allow me. Okay. Sends by email. Uh-oh. Okay, let's see. I don't see a way I can send it by phone. Try again. Maybe. Let's see. All right. How's everybody doing this evening? Let's see who's on. Okay. YouTube. All right. And who's on Facebook? Oh, Lord. All right. We're going to pray. Let's see now. I should be on everywhere. Facebook, YouTube. Yes, we are live on Facebook. We are live on YouTube. All righty. Who is that? Oh, somebody's okay. Bishop, how are you?
How are you, sir?
Fantastic.
Oh,
Brother Samuel's on the road.
on the road.
Yeah, he wanted me to send him a link. but I can't send one by I can only send it to emails. I know there was a way. Let's see. Is there a way? Nope. Nope. Can't do it. All right. Well, I'm back in. All right. So we're going to get started. Uh, thank you, everyone, for joining. We've had an interesting week with connections. Yeah. And I thought it was because my subscription didn't go through, but that wasn't it. Somehow I had a glitch in the matrix. I simply, well, yesterday had to restart my computer.
Ah,
Yeah, it's been on. I usually leave it on when it's at the house. I don't unplug it, but I hadn't restarted it in a couple of weeks. And so it wasn't giving me a good connection here. So, um, but thank God we're on now.
it
So
happens.
we're ready to get started. Let's have a word of prayer. Father, thank you for your goodness, your kindness, your mercy. Thank you for your bountiful many blessings. Thank you for how you kept us and watched over and protect us. And thank you for blessing us to come together to share in thy word and to encourage one another. We ask, oh God, that you would allow our hearts and minds to become good ground, that we would receive the seed of thy word and then bring forth good fruit unto good measure. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, so we are ready to get started. Let's see. It has one other function. Share a link. Quality recording from mobile. Okay. Well, it only allows me to send the invite by email. So hopefully Brother Sam can get on his email on his phone
Um,
and then get in because I can't send it to the phone.
I should have an email. It's email should attach. One of my emails attached to my phone.
Yeah.
Phone. My church
I don't I
email.
don't I don't know if that email is attached to his phone. Let me see. Let me send him a text and find out. Oh yeah, he got it. He got it. He did send it.
Yeah.
Okay, so just a second. And this was going to be SL
Last.
at Yahoo. Okay. There we go. Send. Okay. Sent. Got you, bro. All right, so we'll have him in a moment. So we had a very interesting week, as I stated. Wednesday we were able to get on Zoom, and last night on the round table, and so tonight we're on our weekly wrap up. Had an interesting conversation Wednesday on Zoom. Uh, I'm trying to remember exactly what our topic was. I'm kind of
A little bit of everything.
yeah,
A little bit of everything.
I know, but I was talking something about the church and oh man. But anyway, last night we had a discussion about lyrics in gospel music that is bad theology. And I really do believe that they are hold on a minute. That they are what's the word I'm looking for? Uh hold on. Wow. Oh Lord. Wow. That is not good. Well, see, God don't like ugly. Well, I'm gonna leave that alone.
Go ahead.
Nothing. I just got a text about something, and yeah, it's not good. Not good. Anyway,
Okay.
um, the music industry, and especially the gospel music industry. And I don't, you know what? I don't really fault them as much as I do uh, we who are part of the church. We don't support our uh, artists like the world does, and a lot of them, in the attempt to earn revenue, have went the way of darkness. Now I'm just put it that way, because they're trying to be commercialized. There should be some accountability, responsibility on both parts. You can't expect your musicians, you know, to always be there, and we want them to uh, enhance our services. And a lot of times, we talk that free stuff, but the same preacher that's telling the musician to play for free, he's charging big money to come preach.
Mm.
It's a two-way street, and we can't just say, well, all the money that come in is for me, and y'all got to figure out how y'all gonna take care of everything else. That's not the way it works. If you would study the Bible and study the purpose of the tithe and how that money was even disseminated, when there was a sacrifice brought to the priest, now there was a ritual that was performed. The meat was dropped into the oil where it was being cooked. The priest would have this tri hook. He'd get to drop it in, and whatever he pulled out was for him. God got his part out of the oil, and whatever the rest that was left in there was cooked was for the family that made the sacrifice. We got a system now where, and this is not all of us, just but most part they put the meat in the pot. The priest gets it all, and everybody else better hope there's some more coming for them later, because that's the way they're gonna do the money. But it's sad, But the Bible does speak to these things, and the Bible tells us how we ought to deal with one another. And I am very much encouraged, because the Bible is fulfilling itself every day, and there is more and more evidence for us to believe the word of the gospel, and to not be disheartened that all of this is for naught. We believe God. We believe the words of Jesus. We believe the words of the prophets and the apostles, and therefore we preach what we believe, and because we believe, we speak it. And I believe with my whole heart all of this is going to come to pass just the way the Lord said. That's my short opening for tonight. So let's have a discussion regarding what we talked about this week. And the floor is open. Welcome to Elder Samuel. My nickname for him is Pastor Samuel. And Bishop Elsie for joining tonight with us. And we're ready to get into our Friday night wrap up. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
All right.
I'm trying to look something up, and I hit the speaker and it started recording you.
Yeah. Brother Sam's on the road. He may can come in, but if he can, we'll hear from him as well.
Okay.
All right.
So what I think I gave you my feedback last night about the gospel music and the church. Only thing I can say, in as far as the musicians in the church, um, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of musicians. One, they're not appreciated. They don't show that the people go in and have them play, and once they finish playing, that's it. Don't show no appreciation for them for their time and their talents. They're not complimented for their talents. And there are some that want to come in. They want to pay them $200 for 2 hours for work at $100 an hour. And the church can't even afford barely get PPG bill. So it is a sorry state to be set up.
All right, somebody got an echo in the back.
Who lighten up?
Huh?
I was trying to see Sam's.
Oh no, his echo's on, yours on.
No, like some Sam's. It lights up on my screen.
Yeah. So when we look at it that way, though, we have to look at the equity. I hear this conversation a lot now with men and women regarding equality and value. I also, when I think about that, the Bible teaches us that there's no one less significant in the body. Even those that are considered the least are valuable. Good lesson about that. If you lose your baby toe, you got to learn how to walk again. Your balance is thrown off.
Yep.
If you lose your hearing in one ear, your balance is thrown off because your body balances based off of sound as well. So I can't say, well, my toes are important because I got to learn how to walk, but my hearing can be all right. That ain't gonna affect me, but it does. It just the loss of hearing in one ear will affect you. Lose one finger, it changes your grip. And you may have all four of your fingers, but without that thumb, you don't have a full grip. You can have the thumb and three of the fingers. You don't have a full grip. You got to compensate for what's lacking. And because of that, he teaches us in 1 Corinthians that every member is important. So no one is invaluable. And when we see and understand that in whatever we're doing, heard a story once about a production on Broadway, and it was very successful production. And the lead actor, a performer, came to the director one night and said, "Look, y'all gonna have to give me more money." And they says, "Well, we're already paying you more than anybody else, and we're running a tight budget, and with all of the crew, the props, and everybody that's in the production, and we're selling out every night, but we don't have enough in the budget to pay you more." And the lead actor said, "Well, get rid of that stagehand there." and give me what you paying him, else I ain't going on. So they let the stagehand go that night. And the next night they came for the performance. And when it was time for the curtain to go up, the lead actor wasn't on his spot. He wasn't on stage. And they went to look for him. And they found him in his dressing room. And they said, why aren't you on stage? He said, because my costume hasn't arrived yet. What do you mean? He said, well, my costume isn't here. And I looked out a little while ago and the props weren't in place on the stage. And everything that's normally here and in place, it's not there. I can't go out like this. And they says, well, you told us to fire the guy who was responsible for all that. We fired the man that got all the costumes to the dressing room. We fired the man that put the props up. We fired the man who had all the stuff in order. The stagehand was the one that made sure he was the guy holding things together behind the scenes. So you see, you may not be in the limelight. People may not see you, but you are just as important as the person on the stage. When we're doing these kinds of productions, you might, the person that the camera is on may feel like they're the most important, but if the guy who's running the camera isn't there, if the guy who's doing the audio is not on post, if the people who are part of putting the props up and the person who the stage production, getting the people who are supposed to come on at the right time, it's a whole production to some of these presentations we see. Joel Osteen often tells the story. He was the audio visual guy. He ran the video for his father ministry, and there was a lot of work went into that. You don't just come out on stage and just start talking. They got to make sure. I remember doing the conferences for Shirley Caesar every year, and my cousin and I would go in, and we would do sound checks with all of the artists that were going to be singing that night. And Keith would have to go over there and set all the mics, and set the speakers, the monitors on stage. And man, one time we went there, we had to go and set up the whole sound system because somebody had messed it up. But whatever went on that night would have never had the effect that it had if there hadn't been somebody working behind the scenes. And that's the way we got to realize it is, even in a church, in a service. Your musicians, your singers, your praise and worship teams. Listen, you can be a praise and worship leader, but have no singers. What are you leading? It's like they say a pastor who doesn't have any people following him is just a man taking a walk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I took a few walks. But y'all got to figure this out. We need everybody to be involved. We need everybody on board, and we should be cooperative. And then, I understand when you're growing, you don't have the resources to do certain things. But as you grow, I think we should be aware of the important people and make sure we compensate them or show some appreciation to them for their service.
How important is music? Is it to a church service? The musicians to a church service.
I have seen in the Bible all of those people that played. The musicians were on post. The musicians played. It does enhance the service. It is not an absolute, but it's a plus. And a lot of people that come enjoy the service if there's some music. unless you go to a Church of Christ where they don't believe in music. But I believe it's a plus. It's an additive.
Well, I'm saying the musicians, not the music. The reason why I asked that question is because when I was younger, I was 9, 10, 11 years old. I used to attend a little church back in my hometown, and one of the mothers used to brought in her washboard, and she scratched her washboard,
Yeah.
and one of the old deacons would bring in one drum, and he would beat that one drum, and they would have service, and nobody said anything about a musician, a piano. We didn't get a. I didn't. I'm trying to remember when somebody started playing. When did we get a piano in that church? I can't remember, but we used to have service all 3 times on a Sunday, 3 times during the week, and the musician was always one of the mothers, a couple of the deacons playing either washboard or a couple of drums. Then when they finally got a piano, somebody would bang. Well, an old mother would get on the piano, bang on the piano. And I was saying we put a lot. We have gotten a lot of us have gotten to have came to this point now where we put a lot of emphasis on the musicians. We have to have a guitar player. We have to have a bass player. We have to have an organ player. We got to have a piano and organ. We got we have to have all these different instruments in order to have a service. And we have put a lot of emphasis on these things. And sometimes I think we put too much of an emphasis on it. It enhances the service. It makes the service more brings the service gives a little life to the service. But I think we put too much emphasis on it.
Well, I think that is relative to where you are. Everybody does it. I mean, they would like to have it, but it's not an absolute.
No.
And I don't know too many that think that if you don't have it, you can't have service, because we've had it a whole lot without them. But I think that depends on the atmosphere, uh, and the group you're dealing with. Because some people will. "Well, y'all, what a musician! Y'all can't get started. What organist? He ain't here yet. Yeah, we can get started. We can start praying. We can get started. If he don't show up, don't worry about it. We're gonna move right along." But you go some places and man, it's they have a fit if the band ain't there. But that's mostly your churches that have established music departments and all that stuff. You know.
I, we. No, I was laughing because I got this thing on YouTube. I wish I can't. I can't bring it up. I wish I could show it to you. But as a pastor is shaving the women in his church, he's shaving under their arm. Then after he's shaving his arm, another one comes up. He turns her around, raises up the back of her dress, and shaves the back of her legs. And he got another one. He pulled her panties off, and now he's shaving the front of her. It's a ritual. I mean, we got too much stuff going on in what we call the church.
Yeah. But back to the music.
Okay.
The music is just an enhancement. And I think what happens a lot of times is that we haven't learned the power of moderation. And we haven't learned how to, there was a term they used to have, they say, learn how to roll with the punches or go with the flow. We'll say certain things like subject to the leading of the Holy Spirit, and we'll be the very ones to quench the spirit when it's ready to move. Folks will even say, because they didn't dance and holler and roll around on the floor, that they didn't have good service. Or when they done had a, I call it a wild time. I had a couple used to always take, man, we had crazy church today. I said, well, I'm glad I wasn't there. I don't want to be part of no crazy. But just to how they describe things, and if there isn't any excitement, or if they didn't get excited, they don't think they accomplished their goal. But you should bring the excitement with you.
Right.
Yeah, to bring the excitement.
What I was looking for was a praise and worship I seen on YouTube. That's what it came up at. It was a praise and worship song that I was looking for on YouTube. That I saw. That's what that came up while I was looking for.
Hold on, y'all. I gotta go open the door for my grandson. I'll be right back. Y'all carry on.
And the sun would take me out to the darkness. Like Sam's in the darkness now. Take me out to the darkness. You have your own light, Sam. I know you're in the light. But that was a praise and worship songs out that I heard. I was listening to earlier today. That was on YouTube, and I wanted, since he's talking about music in the church, I wanted to see could I find that particular song. I heard part of it and didn't take the whole. I didn't and didn't pay attention to the whole thing. And
what was the name of it?
I just got it and I hit the wrong button to cut it off. All right, okay.
Well, while you looking for it, I'm gonna say a lot of times it's because we have been preconditioned for certain things, and we don't think that, but we think that we have to have certain things go on in order for us to say that we had church. Where we can be sitting in your living room, Bishop, and just talking, and we could be having church.
Right.
It's just a way for the believers to fellowship one with another. But see, we conditioned for certain things. So if that don't happen, it's not really church. Oh, we had a little meeting. No, we had church.
Right.
And leave it at that.
Yeah.
All right.
And
I'm home now.
Okay. And even the order of service, what we call the order of service. I mean,
I haven't seen that in the Bible yet.
I haven't either. I haven't seen that yet.
What, an order of service or a routine?
I told the deacon at the church, I say, quit saying we're gonna change the order of the service when you get up to for the offering.
Right. You ain't changing.
I said, this is part of the service.
Yeah.
And it's very much in order.
Yep.
Yep.
And even Jesus took up a collection because
we so conditioned to say that.
Yep. But Judas kept the purse.
like it's a foreign. Well, this is not part of. This is like not part of the regular service. This is something that No, it is part of the regular service,
Absolutely.
and it.
We finna pause for station identification.
But now we can't put too much emphasis on it because you've been there where they have spend more time with the offering than they do
do the
preaching
altar
the
call.
gospel,
Or the altar call.
or even preaching the gospel.
Yep.
Oh, they'll make it part of the altar call. They think you're gonna get a bunch. So
you have to make it part of the altar call.
That's on us.
Right.
The altar call and opening the doors to the church.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Bishop? I unlocked the door, so they must be open.
See,
I got there that morning, and I was the first one, and I had to unlock the door. They was open right then and there.
They asked me that. They asked me that one time, and I said, "The door's been open since I got here this morning."
How'd you get in?
How'd y'all get in here?
Like I have to go through the same routine every time somebody get up to ask me to open the doors to the church. I sit up and look at them. I said, "Oh, how can you open something that's already been opened?"
Hey, see, they're trying to give a name to. It's called an invitation to Christ.
Anything.
But the door's already open. Are you ready to come and accept Him as your Lord and Savior? That's what we really trying to get to. But that's the way. Go ahead, Sam.
I'm gonna say we put labels on everything. Remember we talked about that? I think it was it Wednesday night?
Yeah.
When Bishop was talking about the evangelicals versus this one and that one, how everything had to have a label. Why we can't just be brothers and sisters in Christ, the body of Christ.
Yep. That's where they miss it too. Is everybody has to have a position that they think is important. I've had people a lot of times, so man, which one of the fivefold are you? And I go, well, what does it matter? We need them all. They all are there for the what? Perfecting of the saints and the building up of the body of Christ. I mean, it's all needed. What difference does it make? Which one? Which one are you? Are you doing your part? Are you holding your corner?
What is the LDS church?
The who?
The Mormon church.
LDS.
The Mormon church.
That's Latter-day Saints, the Mormon church.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And
see, and we have to get that they say the bigger the ship, the slower it turns. But I think we have to turn the ship back to the focus of what we're really called to do: win souls to Christ. There's too much going on now in the church, and we get too involved in political issues, and people are now, even Christians or professing Christians, are dealing in areas no believer should even be dealing in, especially in the political order. And when it comes to justifying sin for the purpose of someone's so-called individual rights. We got to stay away from
political rights.
Huh?
Are they political views?
Yeah.
The biggest problem with the church getting what the church has got the churches has gotten into politics, and what they're doing is they're using they're using the idea that they are saved Christians, that they are Christians who justify whatever political leader they have is doing.
Even if it's against the Bible.
Even if it's against the Bible. Trump came out with a Bible stood upside down, and they stood up and applauded because he brought a Bible out, stood it, and held it up, even though he don't know which way is up.
Well, now give him credit. Now he did read from 2 Corinthians. like I John.
I John. Yeah. So that's why I said the church that got in. We use the Christianity to justify sin. So that's why you got the evangelical Christians now, and the Christian right, the Christian left, the Christian in the center, the Christian in the middle, the Christian above, the Christian below. Just as long as it fit within your religion, within your political views. Because I had a preacher tell me, argue me down that Trump was prophesied it was prophesied in the Bible that Trump was going to be elected and that he was going to do all these great things. I'm going, where? And I can't remember. He can't start spouting out scriptures. And I had to tell him, man, slow down. Let's get him and read them one at a time. You show me where Trump was prophesied.
Yeah.
So we done got to the point where we're using the Bible to justify what these politicians are doing.
Well, they ain't using the Bible. They trying. They misusing.
Oh, I should say they misquoting the Bible.
Yeah. Because they sure ain't justifying.
Clarify my statement then.
Yeah.
I hear a sound of abundance of rain.
Now,
y'all remember that?
Oh no, who was that?
Paula
White. Oh yeah, Paula White. Oh,
whatever came to my mind when you said that. Well, matter of fact, I was listening to a talk show, and a guy came on, and he identified himself as a conservative Christian. Before he made his statement, I'm saying, well, what difference does that make? It wasn't even a Christian talk show a topic. It was talking about the election, like Bishop was talking about. Okay, yeah. and
the whole thing doesn't. I'm like my man said, if it don't fit, you must quit.
I don't remember ever mentioning they tried to trip him up, and tell him, basically he was against Caesar. And what did he do? He got a coin. He said, whose image is on the coin?
Right.
But give Caesar what belongs to Caesar, but give to God what belongs to God. We don't need to mix the two.
That's it. But for some reason, we even got to the point where we tried to mix it to prove a point.
Wow.
It has to prove a point.
Now, yeah, and then because even though we say what happens when you get a political race when both of them is claiming to be Christians? What do you do then?
Well, one is more of a Christian than the other.
Oh, okay, I got you.
That's what it is.
Because when the issue is all about something else.
Right.
Well, see, I'm out evangelize you. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go to 5 states, and I'm gonna out evangelize you. I'm gonna, because you only went to 4 states to preach. Like it makes a difference. Just go out into all the world and preach the gospel.
Yeah, well, they got this thing.
But how much money he raised?
Go into the highways and hedges and compel men. Take no script with you.
Oh.
Take no
Oh.
Just go.
Don't even take it with you.
He said, just go.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no. Well, see, let's see. I need to. Let's see. The best. Well, one of the best hotels here in Stockton. I got to stay at the waterfront. Y'all make sure y'all put a. I need a dozen roses. I need flower basket and a fruit basket.
But I need my
and,
grapes at 63 degrees Fahrenheit.
But I only want yellow peanut M&Ms. Don't put none of the red ones or the green ones, or please don't put no brown ones in there.
Oh.
Yeah. We all messed up. We all.
And I don't drink Aquafina. Just get me Dasani.
Yeah, because we forgot that this is the gospel of Jesus Christ.
Right. And I'm allergic to Arrowhead, so don't bring that.
Oh Lord. Please, hey, Hal. And oh Lord, what happens if they run out and I gotta drink some tap water?
Oh, no, that's a no.
What?
That's a no.
Yeah.
No tap.
I do have a request, but I can't say it because I don't want to lose a sponsor. So I won't say no Pepsi.
Okay.
In case they want to sponsor the show,
Right.
I won't say bring me a Coke. I don't want no Pepsi.
Yeah, okay.
In case they want to sponsor the show, I can't say Pepsi.
and see how do
we laughing? Yeah, but it's serious.
It is serious, and matter of fact, I had several evangelists that used to come for us, and they sent us lists of what they wanted for their fruit, what they wanted in their room, what temperature they wanted the water when they to preach, and and they had all these different stipulations, and it's like, okay, now if it's a medical situation, I can understand it. If it's a dietary thing, I can understand that, because the Nazarites had a diet. But if you just come in and you a regular human, why you got all these preferences and things? See,
yeah.
And back on, I really, I don't know if I'm gonna do it next week or the week after, but I want to do a show. There was a whole lot this time with the elections, dealing with a couple of issues. One was gender language. They even had it in Oakland, changing the charter to change he and she to them and they. In their charter and something else, but they wanted that whole language changed.
Oh yeah, that was that one. There was for the fire department, they wanted to take out he and change it to them, because women, it was discriminatory towards women, because it wasn't verifying that when there are women.
Yeah, but that was part of the charter. It wasn't. All that's included. It was part of the charter. It was the language. We talked about policemen, firemen, fire persons, and they wanted to change all, and that's part of the charter and how they related. Yeah. I think it was measure W or T, something, one of them.
Yeah, they wanted to take out because they were saying that there are women firemen now, so you cannot just say he. So they wanted to change the charter to say them.
But see, here's no, they in the language, they recognize he and she, but they don't want to be gender specific. They want to be unisexual in the language, and they wanted to change it from he or she to them or they. But He, them, or they are plural. He or she is singular.
Right. But I don't.
That didn't make sense.
I didn't see. I can understand the difference when you're trying to clarify certain things, but I don't see how gender neutral. It was just saying. I read it to say that when they specify in that they didn't have to specify whether it was a man or a woman. When they said police officer, they didn't want to have to specify it was a man or a woman. When
right, but if you
they didn't want to say a fire person, they want to say a fire person instead of fireman because men and women were firemen.
But if you read the beginning of the initiative, it said to change the language to be gender neutral. That's what it said. I said, what do you mean gender neutral?
I didn't take it as it was something else other than that.
Yeah, well, I took it when you saying gender neutral, that means you saying there's no difference between male and female.
I didn't take it that way.
I took it that way. I read the code.
The reason I didn't take it that way is because, like I said, it was specific, and they were saying that when men in fire, when they were saying the fire, with the fire department, it was being changed only for the fire department and the police department.
No, they had it for more than that because they talked about Bishop. They said from councilman to councilwoman to council person. They covered every aspect in city government. They want to change it to take away.
Okay, I just didn't take it as though it was,
and they said they want a gender neutral language. I'm like, why do we need to have gender neutral language when it's already specific? It's a he or she. As a matter of fact, you they don't even want you to say well he. They said no, they want you to say they or them. But if it's just him, why I'm gonna say they? It was him. It wasn't them.
If I'm trying to specify a certain councilman, I don't want to say councilman so and so and councilwoman so and so. That councilman did something that I don't like, and I'm going to make sure I don't get him or her in there anymore.
Right, but
but I don't see the problem with it. I'm just with it.
I saw a problem with it
with that part,
and I see it simply because when you changing the narrative and you start putting all these codes in, and how do we get so neutral when God didn't create? He created them, male and female created he them. Yeah. The them referred to what? Both of them. But he said he created them male and female. Together they're them. But separate they what? Male and female.
But he created them.
Yeah, them.
So but they to say them.
But them is only referred to when you're talking about both of them. If I'm talking about one, I'm not going to point at one and say, they did it. No, he did it. She did it.
When you say call the firemen and they sent a woman out.
They don't want you to say it wasn't even 5 persons. It was something else. But I'm still, here's the thing, though. Bishop, I do something when I'm mixing certain colors on the epoxy, and they call it melding. And I'll brush them over so that you can't tell one from another. You blend them. That's what they call them, blending. Yeah, blending. And I blend the colors. There's no distinction. Now, if we're male and female, they're really trying. The Bible done already told us this day was going to come. How are they trying to? They trying to blend us out and have no separation or distinction between a man and a woman. All this trans stuff, and all the stuff that they keep throwing out there, and then they keep throwing it at us with a language supposedly to make us accept this as okay. I'm not okay with same sex. I'm not okay with abortion. I'm not okay with neutral gender neutral language. I'm not okay with you teaching my child sex in school about same sex, but you won't let them bring a Bible in school. Y'all don't teach heterosexual sex in school, Why you got to teach same sex in school? See, that ain't making sense to me. You can't have it. They always say have it your way. This ain't Burger King. You don't have the right to indoctrinate my child on what their sex is. That's my job as a parent. And if my child is having a crisis or an issue, they should talk to me or their mother. See? But they're teaching them in school, indoctrinating them to all this crazy stuff, but they don't, they're not teach, it just ain't making sense to me. I can't accept that as okay or normal. No, and then for us as believers to get involved with this stuff and go out to okay. He said to this a comedian, he had made a statement. He did a joke about 12 years ago, and now of course they're going to this what's this LGBTQ and not being offensive to them. So somebody played the joke from 12 years ago and he went on and apologized. That guy, Don Lemon, on the news thing, he comes out and says, well, he need to go beyond that. And he need to defend the LGBT community. And he needs to do more than just apologizing. He needs to understand, that we're here and blah, blah, blah. And the guy sent back, he said, listen, I've already apologized. But you can't force something on me. For you to suggest that I come out and support the community, he said, listen, it's not my life dream to promote the LGBTQ. That's not my life dream. I've apologized. If I offended y'all, I apologize. But I don't have to come out in support of you. But this is what they're asking. Everything they do is geared and designed to force us to accept and promote all of this ungodliness.
There's a lot of things about today because they are even banning certain books in school that have to do with teaching Black history. They won't want certain books that teaches that talks about Black people and what slavery is all about. There are so many things that are going on in out there now. We're picking. I think what we're doing, we're picking and choosing what fights we want to have, and the fights that we should be fighting is a total fight over the people themselves that are doing this.
Well,
So
yeah, but I understand what you're saying. I
I
understand that.
understand what you're saying. I understand, but I'm saying not only that fight on LGBTQ or the alphabet people, what they're doing, the fight should be the whole spectrum of what is being done throughout.
Well, if you
It's against
notice,
all people as far
and
as part of the church.
okay, well, you notice what they play the role of divide and conquer. They
Right.
play the role of distract and deter and defer. So what they do is when they came out about those books, then what they did was to kill that argument. They start doing this other stuff and brought in these other books. So now the parents are complaining about all of the LGBTQ same-sex books they putting out because they figure, well, see, now they won't concentrate on the fact that we removing these books that talked about white folks. And here's the other thing. People will quickly say they are offended by something, especially when it tells the negative story of them. Nobody can deny or defy the facts of the people involved with the enslavement of one ethnic group in this country, but yet they will say they're offended if you bring them up in the conversation.
Right.
If you think about the entertainment industry, the last names of all of these people who run in the entertainment industry all come from the same ethnicity. But if you call them out, they'll shut you down and shut you off because you being offensive. Okay, I'm going to tell you, Sam hit me in my eye. Well, that's offensive because you know, no.
Put Sam's name in there.
Huh?
You put Sam's name in there.
But yeah, but Sam the one, if Sam did it, see what I'm saying? That's not being offensive. Why is it offensive for
Because
us?
you put Sam's name in it.
Huh?
Because you put Sam's name in it.
Yeah, right. Okay. Well, all these folks.
They're saying you talking about what white people done. When you say what white people done to slavery, that's offensive.
But see, I didn't say white people. I just said the same ethnic group. Okay. See, now you just called. So that's offensive language.
Yeah. Oh, what I was looking for, Sam, was Kanye's West Sunday service live in Paris, France. That's the one I was looking for.
So
and the song that they were singing, the song he was singing at that time. I know I had told Sam there was a song I was looking for.
Oh, okay.
That I was looking for when you took that break, and I couldn't find it, and I finally found it.
So you know, my whole point is this: our objective is to preach the gospel, spread the good news of Jesus. The church is dying because we're not having any more offspring, spiritual offspring. We got to go back to soul winning, go back to reaching and teaching and leading people to Jesus.
Right.
Jesus is the answer. And we're using every other medium but him to cure the problems of our society. And they are very strategic in getting us to jump on the bandwagon with their stuff and to promote their stuff and to leave Jesus on the sideline. When the fact is, we read the scripture, 1 Chronicles 7:14. How close are we to that? How close are we to that? We read these scriptures, John 3:16, 17, 18. How close are we to that? You know, and we keep hearing the deviation. And, you know, I don't want to be the guy that just, you know, all we talk about is what they doing wrong. I tell a lot of truth, try to bring a lot of clarity, but every now and then, yeah, I think I have to just make a statement and say something. But my real objective, Jesus saves. No artist, no song, no preacher, no. The only one that saves is Jesus. And if we can give them Jesus and convince them to accept Jesus, I think we've done our job. Any comments, gentlemen? It's 6:04.
Okay, the statement that you made last night about Kanye and the other so-called people making this pledge, this contract about not using Jesus in their songs.
Right.
And this the reason why I was looking for the song because this song was the Kanye West Sunday service. Lord, you are holy in Paris. The first part of the song, he said Jesus in both parts of this part of in the beginning of the song. So he broke his contract.
Right, he did. He broke it. That's what I was saying last night.
He broke his contract because the first part of the song, he said, the first part of the song said, every knee shall bow to Jesus. Where's that? Let me get that back again. I just switched on me. But the first part of the song said, every knee shall bow.
Right, and that's what he was saying in the clip. They didn't want us to do that. He said, but I'm going to say Jesus. Y'all can say Jesus. And anybody come to Ye Studios, y'all can say Jesus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Can you live it, though?
Well, that's another question.
I thought you said he was part of he had made a contract with the.
He did. They had done a contract 2 years before that. With Kirk Franklin was involved in
Yeah,
this.
but
And then when he came out and started traveling around with his church, and he was still with Kim Kardashian then, they were going around all these places and big famous churches.
Not a
They went to do,
novice.
a novice, and he was running around, and that was his hook, was that he gonna defy what he signed in the contract. He gonna say Jesus
well,
anyway.
I saw that earlier today because I really caught my attention with it. Is they got this big round circle, and all these people are running around with robes on, and he has this white robe on. He's standing in the center,
Yep.
and started singing this song, started clapping and singing the song. And the first two words, first part of the song, twice he said Jesus in that song. And I said, now, I thought last night that he made a
Well,
contract.
see, what the point I made last night was that here he is 2 years later. It comes out he's exposing what the industry made him sign, and the
Right.
person who was part of that was Kirk Franklin. And Kirk Franklin now done come up with this song, "The Lion and the Lamb will bow down to the goat."
Yeah, and this song he was saying every knee would bow to Jesus.
Yeah,
The first part of his song.
right. And remember last night he said to the audience, they said we couldn't say Jesus. They made us sign a contract. He said, but I'm saying Jesus now. And y'all can say Jesus. Anybody go in the studio, they won't let you sing a song that has Jesus in it. He said, but you can come to Ye Studios and y'all can say Jesus.
Okay.
See, and the issue is now they want to hush him up because when people start exposing the devil in the details, they want to quiet him down. You know, these guys have done a lot behind the scenes that they haven't exposed, but now it's being exposed. And this is
Mhm.
why it's disturbing sometimes when we have our gospel artists that we love and cherish, when they start collaborating with these secular artists. You let a
Right.
known lesbian produce your music, and write your music, and but it's part of it too is because we don't support them enough, and they want to be commercialized so they can make money. So they buy into this. We let one rap artist, how many gospel art? What, he did about 30 songs with 30 different gospel artists, more than 30, because he had several on
You
each
want
song.
Snoop
Snoop,
Dogg?
yeah.
I only heard him do one.
No, he did several songs. He did
I,
one with the
I, I
Clocks.
already
He,
did
he
one.
did one with Rance Allen. He did one with what's his name? Marvin Sapp. He was going around all of them doing a song with all these artists. I don't know how many. Let me see. Let me
I
look
don't
it
know.
up.
I just heard that one because
Oh,
somebody
I didn't hear all of them. I'm just saying this is something he
I only
did.
knew he had did one with Rance Allen because somebody, a couple of you brought it to me. Let me hear.
He did one with Mary Mary. You know, uh, let's see how many gospel artists did Snoop Dogg.
But that's not. This is not Kirk Franklin. This is somebody else singing the song, but it's not Kanye West. I mean, this is somebody else singing, standing on the piano.
Uh, okay. How many gospel artists did Snoop Dogg record with? I'm gonna get the number here in a minute.
Tell
Snoop
me how
Dogg,
to go.
Snoop Dogg made a gospel artist and it's wonderful. With Bible of Love, that was the name of it. He smartly reserved the album vocal duties for names including Faith Evans, Ty Tribbett, Rance Allen. Some of them are questionable, like B. Slade. Uh, where's okay? Uh, oh Lord. Now the list. Okay, Kim Burrell, Charlie Wilson, and more. These are the people. I mean, now we know Charlie Wilson come from the Gap Band.
Yeah.
Okay, he's not a gospel artist. He's an artist that sings gospel.
Well,
Did a couple of gospel
yeah.
songs. Yeah. But anyway, the point I'm making is, you see, he did this, and it was a hit because why? He's Snoop. But all of these artists went along with it because why? He's commercialized.
But Rance didn't really need Snoop.
None of them did.
Snoop needed Rance Allen.
The Clark sisters, yeah, he needed him. But
him in order to bring out the go gospel.
And how did he convince them? Listen, I'm going back to my roots. My mama was a preacher, an evangelist, and I'm coming back to my roots. I got some music God done gave me to do. Now that gets us. When somebody say God done gave me to do, okay, here we come and lend in our
Which
voice.
God?
Well, everybody is entitled to make a change.
Don't ask that question, Sam.
Oh.
Everybody is entitled to come out of the darkness into the light.
Okay.
Okay.
But we read the scripture last night, though, to what? You brought it up. Do what? Try.
Yeah.
Every spirit.
You didn't give me. I said, but.
And see whether it be of God.
You cut me off before I got my butt out.
Well, Bishop, you know how it go.
I try to get my butt out. I try to get my butt out. But you give me a chance to get my butt out.
You got your butt in trouble.
But we all have done something. We all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. All of us have done something that we fall short of. How many times have you been doing something? Somebody see you that hadn't seen you for years said, "Man, I remember when you were." But I'm not saying that Snoop didn't change. I'm not saying Snoop hadn't. I don't know if Snoop changed or not.
Listen to this.
I don't go along with some of his. I don't go along with his music.
But listen to this. Normally, hearing that a rapper is preparing a 32-track album is cause for concern. Yet Snoop Dogg these days is less a rapper than a multi-channel entrepreneur and media personality, mobilizing evil deceptions, entertaining audiences. That's the acronym for media. Mobilizing evil deceptions, entertaining audiences. Listen though, he's a media personality. Just look at how he spent the lead up week to his new album, Bible of Love, out Friday. His first release on his new gospel album, on his new gospel record label. All the Time Entertainment. His venture capital firm, Casa Verde, which focuses on making investments within the cannabis industry, closed its debut round of funding with $45 million. He paid them folks. He posed for photos with Elon Musk and voiced his support for London Breed's mayoral run in San Francisco. He teased a new line of shiny gold cleats he collaborated on with Adidas, and in a development that actually related to music, he added new dates to his Mount Cushmore wellness retreat tour, including some in April with Migos. Mount Cushmore. Kush. That's what they call, it's one of the nicknames for the smoke, Kush.
You know too much about that stuff.
Huh?
You know too much about that stuff.
No, I keep
all those nicknames and those narratives and
because Bishop, if you want to be able to combat what's happening, you got to know how to speak up and clarify things. I study this stuff. I study this stuff. So I don't participate, but I'm sure gonna know what's going on. Because when these youngsters come at me, They do. And I get this a lot, when I'm out and young folk, well, Dr. Dakins, but what's wrong with it? It come from the earth. I said, listen, man, let me tell you something. Everything come out the earth ain't for your consumption. Okay? The stuff they make poisons. It come from plants out of the earth. It ain't for your consumption, man.
You tell some of the folks that licking toads now.
They're doing what?
Licking toads.
Oh, I don't know nothing about that.
You said this is a new fad now. These youngsters are licking toads because certain toads have a discrete.
You know too much about that stuff, Bishop.
Well, you have to stay on top of the stuff.
So,
Anyway,
but now you see what I'm saying, and then you get into the background of it. Just in that sentence, media, entertainment, and cannabis industry. I believe there's a scripture. He says, "Don't bring the price of the price of a whore or of a dog into my house." I don't care. There are certain things you don't bring to God's house or bring as an offering because He's not going to accept it. We don't believe that though, because see, here's the hook. Here's the hook. The wealth of the wicked is laid up for the righteous. Does that authorize me to take wicked gain for the work of the Lord, especially when I know where it come from?
he hasn't. What he's doing hasn't made a big impact into things that today. There's not too many people that are listening to his music.
Okay.
Within the church itself, put it that way, within the church itself.
But the world is.
That's the world. But he
Yeah.
said, "You have overcome the world."
But can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
Those that are being influenced in the world are being pushed outside of our reach because of what they're listening to.
I don't think they've been pushed outside of our reach
Okay.
because I don't see anything that's out of the reach of God. So I don't think that they're out of the reach of God at all.
I said they're being pushed outside, which means we got to work harder for those who are hearing this stuff than for if our kids come up under our influence. It is easier for us to win them over to Christ than it is if they are being unduly influenced by the world.
Yep, but Snoop's music is not the only thing that's not the
No, it's not.
It's not
But it's a thing.
It's a thing. It's not the heaviest influence.
I don't care whether it's heavy or light.
Well,
Any nudge.
That's what I'm saying.
Any nudge is a nudge.
We have to look at the overall picture of all things that is all the influences that are going on, and his influence is just one little notch.
So should we ignore it?
I ain't saying it. I didn't say one time to ignore it, but I say I don't. If you take something and the way Trump got a lot of people is he starts talking about one particular thing, and he continued to talk about it and talk about it and talk about it and talk about it and then all of it became the narrative that's all they talked about. Now he didn't look at the overall picture, but only took one portion, one thing. My thing is that you take one thing and you start talking about all things and start putting it in, it becomes the narrative of that. If you don't give it a whole lot of media attention, it don't go that far.
Okay, but you just said something. He kept nudging with the same thing until he got over. So that's my point. It may not be much, but every little nudge And the more they repeat it, it's played, and the more it's heard. It's just like when this thing comes out, when if this Franklin thing really catches on, you know how many people gonna be messed up with that narrative?
Yeah, but you can also get the narrative, catch the narrative as it's coming.
So, well, that's what I'm doing. I'm catching
Catch the
it
narrative
and knocking
as
it back out the pot.
because, like I said, some of the things that you said, I haven't even heard about it.
Yeah.
And I can't comment on it
What?
because I don't know anything about it.
Well, and see, that's
So, but
right
what you're
because
trying to
you
get
don't
at,
travel. You don't travel in that circle. See,
no, I don't. But
and I don't either. But that's why
that's it.
sometimes you got to. I go out and find out. Oh, okay, what's the fad? What's going on? What are the young
What is
people
coming?
gravitating to now? You know what they're listening to now, and you'd be surprised. You know, I tell you, I told y'all yesterday about some lyrics and stuff, and Dalen B. Well, today he's at, and he got his headphones on, and he starts singing this song, and he said something to the effect about uh she refused to have a threesome, and I turn around, boy, I said, take your headphones off. I said, what is you singing? It's just a song, Greg. I said, no, I told you about them kind of songs. You disrespecting your mama, your grandmama, your sisters, your aunties. I said, you respecting women, period. But it's just a song. No, it ain't just a song. I said, it's an image being created in the mind of the people singing the song. You keep singing that song and say, you're going to have a subconscious thought in your mind. You ain't gonna even know when it finally gets you and you gravitate to it. Oh, it ain't that serious. It is that serious. You know, and yet this is the kind of stuff they listen to. Do you know that?
Subliminal.
Yeah, subliminal messaging. Do
Yeah.
you know that Cardi B, there's a video out now, and another preacher posted it. I saw it today. Cardi B's daughter came in the room while she was doing a song, one of her songs on her Instagram. The daughter come walking in, and the guy went, and she turned around, saw her daughter, cut the music off right away. And she told her daughter, no, baby, you got to go back. No, you can't be in here right now. And when she sent the daughter out, you know, somebody had to come get it. She got on her Instagram. Viewers asked her, why did she do that? She said, I don't allow my daughter to listen to my music.
Well, how old is the daughter? Maybe it wasn't age appropriate.
Age appropriate.
I'm just saying, you know. Well, there are things that, you know, we just like movies. You have movies different ratings.
Right. I don't know. I think they have ratings. I don't know. So she looked to be about between 5 and 6. You know.
So yeah. So maybe she's thinking she's not old enough for this, you know, subject matter. I mean, I can see that.
Well, I'm like this though. If your daughter gonna hear your music, and what about like a woman now who's on OnlyFans, and she later has children, and one day her son or her daughter goes on and sees those pictures she posted up.
She got some explaining to do, Lucy.
Let me ask you this: when Barbara Jean was talking to somebody, and you were 5 years old, you walked in the room. What did she tell you?
Yeah, she told me get out.
Right. She like
grown folks conversation.
Grown folks conversation.
So yeah, so you can look at it that way too. If she's 5 or 6 years old, get out.
So you see in that case, I want to applaud her for doing that.
Okay, yes, but my other point of that is too, if what I'm doing isn't appropriate for all ages, okay, as I don't have that luxury as a preacher that I can't preach.
Right, but see, she's not a preacher though.
No, but but she dresses and she says stuff, and if you're that concerned about your child, what about somebody else's child possibly hearing that too?
I know I can understand your point.
Well,
too.
but okay,
Daughter,
but for instance, let's there's certain let's just say pick a movie you like.
Oh, I agree. She should have sent her daughter out. She was
Not,
right about that.
I'm just saying, pick a movie that you like.
One of my favorites
That you wouldn't want your grandson to watch.
Oh, let's see. Let me see. Something maybe that I watched some years ago. I wouldn't want him to watch. What was that movie? We went out because we snuck to go see it. Me and Moses.
There you go.
Sweetback.
Okay. I'm just saying, don't worry about the title. I'm just saying, see, but it may have been appropriate for you to view, but not.
No, it wasn't even appropriate for us. Well, we were teenagers.
I mean, but there are things,
right,
that are appropriate for you to view, to watch, that wouldn't be appropriate for your child to view.
Because there's some stuff I've seen even now because of the language and stuff. I don't allow when my grandkids were here, or Linda had our goddaughter over here. There was something come on. I might have watched. I said, well, we can't watch.
You watch the Disney movies, basically. The old school Disney, by the way. You wouldn't have it on HBO or Showtime watching Oz. For instance, Oz.
No.
Because it's not age appropriate.
It's not age appropriate.
So and but you say, well, don't make the TV show Law and Order. So that's what I'm saying. So I would, in that instance, not overall, but in that instance, I would applaud the fact that she was using that discretion and saying this is not appropriate.
I did say that. I did say I appreciate the fact she did.
But you also said she shouldn't make the music. But
I said, but I don't think she should.
So they should make the movie that you would watch.
No, they shouldn't have. And
not that particular movie. No, not that particular. I'm just saying any movie. Then I'm just saying any movie. Okay, Black Panther. May not be age appropriate for some people.
Okay.
Would you? So they shouldn't make the movie at all. See what I'm saying? That's what I'm getting. See, we're in a slippery. Now we're in a slippery slope.
It's a slippery slope. It's a slippery
if you're going to ban one, you got to ban them all.
Well, that's a slippery slope there.
But there are some things that even some biblical concepts that you can understand that your children can't understand.
Right.
It may, this is not the time for them to be introduced to that. So, but do you just throw the whole Bible away? No, you give them what they can handle. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
In that case, and I don't even know who I've heard her name, but I couldn't tell you who she was.
I can't tell you anything about them. But
if I saw a picture right now, I wouldn't be able to spot her out.
Right.
But I have heard the name. I am familiar with the name.
Yeah.
But I got to get some more information about this Kirk Franklin thing, because was this something that he said or
no? It's a new rap song he's put out, and I played it last night for the round table.
I missed it.
And he talked about in his rap, him and God is cool now, but he says,
did he misspeak?
No, he just said the lion and the lamb will bow down to the goat.
And I want, and he haven't put nothing out to explain this. Okay, because I'm sure he's been called out on that. I gotta look at this now.
Yeah, he's been called out.
I haven't heard that particular. The reason why I ran across the one I did. I was looking for it.
Look it up on YouTube. The lion and the lamb will bow down with the goat.
I was looking up some of the stuff we were talking about last night.
Yeah.
But
it's interesting conversation we're having tonight. We can keep going. but it's we're an hour and 30 minutes in. And what's going on tomorrow, Bishop?
I'm getting ready to pull up my study and finishing up. Attempt to finish up Proverbs 14 tomorrow.
Okay.
So we are going to be going through Proverbs 14 and finishing up what a wise Christian should be doing.
All right.
By carrying himself. And then Sunday we're going to be at Pastor Earl's at Holy Cross, be at his church at his anniversary Sunday.
Oh, okay.
So attend his anniversary Sunday.
All right. What time is that?
3 o'clock.
Oh, so y'all not doing the 2 o'clock? I mean the 3 o'clock.
No, we're not going to do the fellowship because his anniversary falls on that particular day. So we are backing off and let him have his anniversary. He moved it because Pastor Robinson is having his church anniversary there on the third Sunday.
Oh, okay.
So his anniversary program would have normally been on the third Sunday.
All right. So what's going on with you this weekend, Brother Sam?
Well, first thing is, Bishop, I sent you a text a couple weeks ago. Did you never got it? It was regarding your Cash App. When I looked at it, it was somebody else's name. So I was just wanting to make sure that who it was.
No, you didn't. I'll tell you what. Let me go back in and I'll send you a text back.
Okay, and I got a customer and I got to go. So same thing. As always, I got Sunday school coming on at 10:15 on Zoom.
All right. Everybody, God loves you and I love you. Not a thing you can do about it. Go and be blessed in the name of the Lord Jesus. You all have a wonderful